This is WLKY. Live, local, late breaking. Your complete news coverage for Greater Louisville starts right now.
Clarksville police make a quick arrest after finding a teenager's body. A fiery crash along Interstate 65 south of Elizabethtown takes 6 lives. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Bergen. 6 members of an extended Marion, Wisconsin family are killed when a tractor trailer rear ends their SUV. 2 others in that vehicle are injured. This was the scene from the WLKY news chopper, and here's what Kentucky State Police have told us. There were 2 accidents, the first occurring at 11:13 this morning northbound at mile marker 83. That's near Glendale. It involved the SUV. The Ford Expedition burst into flames, killing 3 adults, a teenager, and 2 children, ages 8 and 10. Witnesses say 2 other youngsters emerged from the vehicle and 1 appeared to be on fire. 1 was transported to Louisville, the other to Lexington. After their SUV was hit, it struck another vehicle, but the driver of that vehicle suffered only minor injuries. 16 minutes later, the second accident happened in the southbound lanes. It also involved a tractor trailer along with 3 vehicles. Master Trooper Norman Chafin says 3 people were hurt in that crash. Chafin says they are looking into whether the drivers may have been distracted by what was going on in the northbound lanes. Police were reporting icy roadways in the area this morning, but at this time they do not believe it played a factor in the crashes. You can find the names and ages of the victims on our website, WLKY.com. A 20-year-old Louisville woman who was living in Murray has been killed in a traffic crash in Callaway County. That's in the far southwestern part of the state. Troopers say Shelby Theus lost control of her car around 7:30 this morning on a snow ice-covered bridge and struck a semi. Theus died at an area hospital. A teenager is found murdered in a Clarksville apartment, but police believe they found the person who did it. WLKY's Erica Coghill has been following this story. She joins us live with more.
Steve, police say the 17-year-old girl had previously met the 49-year-old man who they now have behind bars, charged with her murder. Now, a friend tells us she met him at Cambridge Square Apartments, where police say she lived with her boyfriend. He's not a suspect. Police tell us he came home from work and found her dead.
He gets off at 5 in the morning, but he was still at work, and he got the text message saying that I need help.
A friend of the couple, Christopher Henderson, says a text message asking for help is the last 17-year-old Tara Willenberg's boyfriend heard from her.
He came home after that text message and found that girl in the bedroom dead.
And just hours later, police arrested this man, 49-year-old Richard Hooten. He's been charged with the girl's murder. Police say they found him walking on a street about a mile from the scene. They say neighbors led authorities to the suspected killer.
There were neighbors who knew of him and gave us the first name. That's all we had when we started.
Henderson says Hooten had been staying with Henderson and his aunt at her apartment across the hall from Willenberg's. He says his aunt met Hooten online.
Well, she just met him. She was dating him, you know, I mean, a little bit, you know, being cool with him and everything. And he just, you know, we didn't know he was like that. I didn't even know he was like that.
Henderson says he would hang out with Hooten and have coffee with him after he got off work.
I mean, the guy was down to earth. I mean, he didn't get loud with my aunt or, you know, show any signs of aggression or anything like that.
Police say they found no forced entry to Willenberg's apartment, and they aren't telling us how she was killed. An even bigger question is why. That's something Henderson is trying to understand.
17 years old. I couldn't believe something like that would happen to such a beautiful girl like that, though. And it's kind of she was, though.
Police wouldn't share with us Hooten's criminal record, but they say they arrested him for a probation and parole violation out of Clark County. He's now being held in the Clark County Jail. Live in the newsroom, Erica Coghill, WLKY News.
Thanks, Erica. We now have the identity of a body found in a dumpster. The coroner's office says 22-year-old Christopher Malone was shot multiple times. Malone lived on Webster Boulevard in Jeffersonville. The discovery was made yesterday behind a business on Allman Avenue here in Louisville, but it's unclear how long Malone's body had been in the dumpster. The young man's family is expected to talk about their loss tomorrow. So far, no arrests have been made. Radcliffe police tonight are looking for a missing person. Grady Davis was last seen at his residence around 2 this afternoon. He's 5'11", 185 pounds. Davis was driving a 2004 Burgundy Ford F-150, Kentucky license plate number 479HXF. Family members are worried he may be distraught. 270-351-4477 is the number to call if you have any information. Lives were changed in several southern Indiana and Kentucky communities 1 year ago today. We have team coverage beginning with meteorologist Jared Heil.
Steve, it had been 16 years since we had seen a tornado just as strong as what happened on March 2nd, 2012, and it had been almost 40 years back to the super outbreak in '74 since we'd seen a tornado so deadly is what happened just one short year ago. And the weather pattern that day was very conducive for severe thunderstorms and even tornado producers, as we are well aware. Here is the setup from 1 year ago today. The warm front passing through in the morning. That brought highs into the 70s that afternoon. A cold front slamming in late in the day lifted the air and brought us those thunderstorms, which had enough wind energy to go with them to produce the tornadoes that were so strong across the Ohio Valley. One of them, the strongest one, going just north of Louisville on a path for 49 miles, and during the strongest of that time, it produced EF4 wind damage. And the Weather Service actually went up and looked at buildings and discovered that the wind speeds were 170 to 175 miles per hour from Pekin to Henryville up toward Nab and Chelsea and Milton, Kentucky as well, Steve. Only 2%. Just 2% of tornadoes across this country are as strong as that tornado, once again, just 1 year ago, with 175-mile-per-hour winds. Back over to you.
Thanks, Jared. It was a day of remembrance for Henryville. The community held several different events to honor those impacted and those who have aided in the recovery. WLKY's Marissa Alter reports.
Looking back on a year ago, it is remarkable all the changes here, not just in the buildings, but the people as well. March 2nd, 2012, a day forever burned into this community's history when tragedy and unthinkable force slammed Henryville and the surrounding region, leveling buildings and lives.
Oh, say, can you see?
1 year later, community members gathered to mourn the losses, remember the compassion, and celebrate the resilience that's come to define this southern Indiana town. The anniversary events began with the unveiling and dedication of a newly designed Henryville flag.
When I look around and see people coming here to raise a flag, it just shows the honor and the patriotism that we've had and the things that we believe in as a community.
They braved the flurries and bitter temperatures to witness the flag fly high above the once tornado-ravaged town, then lined Main Street to show off their Hornet pride at the day's commemoration parade.
Cold weather doesn't bother you. After you went through a tornado, nothing bothers you anymore.
For some, the anniversary is an emotional one and symbolizes one thing.
Life. Back together. Just happy to see everybody. Everything's coming back around.
The parade ran past Henryville School, which was so damaged by the storm, students finished out the rest of the year in nearby cities. Now newly rebuilt, it's become a symbol of this community's progress. It's also where several hundred people gathered Saturday afternoon for a special memorial service. Among the attendees, Indiana Governor Mike Pence.
Every Hoosier's heart is in Henryville today.
The governor introduced himself to several people, including Stephanie Decker, the Henryville mom who lost both her legs saving her children from the tornado.
It feels really good to be up. It feels good to be able to walk to this event, to be able to walk to the parade, and just participate. For us, it's a good day. You know, we've come a long way. Our family's come a long way.
So has Henryville and the surrounding areas. And as they mark 1 year, the recovery effort continues.
This is a community that showed its character, that showed its courage, and every day that's followed here in Henryville and all across this region. There's been healing, there's been rebuilding, and today's a very, very important day.
Following the ceremony inside the school here, the events continued with a family fair and a spaghetti dinner. In Henryville, I'm Marissa Alter, WLKY News.
A similar event was held today in West Liberty, Kentucky, where a tornado nearly leveled the downtown area and took 6 lives. Following the twister, a Henryville restaurant decided on a name change. WLKY's Natalie Grice explains.
What a difference a year makes. Now, March 2nd, 2012, this counter used to be replaced by a big yellow school bus. It just came crashing through the building here at Bud Rose Restaurant. Now, they embraced what happened, changed the name to Bud Rose Bus Stop, and of course, this image of the destruction became an iconic symbol of the Henryville tornadoes. But again, they have rebuilt, and now they're remembering the place where the bus literally came to a stop. Just about every morning, you can find Sherman Sykes in the kitchen, serving up a hearty breakfast.
I love being here, and I love helping people. I have a good time doing it.
We come up here for the breakfast, and you can hear him back there all the time, and he seems like a pretty good character.
Bud Rose Bus Stop gets busy early, but the real special here is not on the menu. 1 year ago, Sykes and 8 others rode out the tornado in the basement. They were safe. The building was not. A school bus tossed from Henryville High School across the street came to rest in the front of his restaurant. Destroyed but not defeated, Sykes rebuilt with a new name, Bud Rose Bus Stop.
I don't say, well, that's what we used to have. No, it's gone. I know I'm never going to get that back, but we got this back. We're doing good. That's the main thing.
As Henryville continues its recovery, Sykes helps out his neighbors the best way he knows how, one plate at a time.
I try to get good food. If they got money, okay. If they don't, okay. I don't care.
Serving up true comfort food in every bite.
I just want to hug them. They're alive. They didn't get, I don't care, crippled or whatever, but they're still alive. That's the main thing, you're alive.
Now, the owners here, the Sykes, they say that business was good before the storms hit, and now it's back and doing even better. Reporting in Henryville, Natalie Grice, WLKY News.
Now the latest on that sinkhole near Tampa, Florida. Officials have called off rescue efforts for 37-year-old Jeff Bush. Ashley Porter reports they say the sinkhole is growing and threatening more homes.
Neighbors hauled away boxes as crews surveyed this small blue home in suburban Tampa. County Administrator Mike Merrill said the rescue was no longer possible.
With all the equipment that we brought in and specialized help, we just have not been able to locate Mr. Bush, and so for that reason the rescue effort is being discontinued.
The bedroom floor just collapsed and my brother-in-law is in there. He's underneath the house.
Frantic family members called 911 Thursday night. A sinkhole had opened up directly under a man's bed.
They rushed in. All they could see was part of a mattress sticking out of the hole. Essentially, the floor of that room had opened up.
Swallowed up in the dirt and rock, 36-year-old Jeff Bush. His brother Jeremy tried to save him.
I jumped in the hole and tried digging him out, and I couldn't get him. All I could hear was, I thought I could hear him screaming for me and hollering for me to help him.
Sinkholes are more common in Florida than any other state. More than 200 were recorded last year, yet fatalities are rare. They form when water seeps through soil, dissolving underground limestone. The surface of sand and clay can't support the weight, and the ground collapses.
The side slopes of the hole is still very steep, and the soil is extremely soft. The sinkhole will continue to grow.
Crews, meantime, are doing 3D mapping of the area to see who else is at risk. They've dropped cameras and listening devices into the hole, but there are no signs of life. Ashley Porter for CBS News, Sefner, Florida.
Heavy equipment will be brought in to demolish that house tomorrow morning. Coming up, a night to honor and inspire achievement. And later in sports, which local teams are headed to Kentucky's Sweet 16? You are watching WLKY News.
We know just how wild the weather can be across the Ohio Valley in the month of March. Just last year, the tornadoes, 73 degrees in the afternoon. Today, we had snow showers and temperatures 40 degrees colder, just below freezing. And more light snow is heading away from the north for your late Saturday night. We'll talk about this and more of a warm-up on the 7-day, all coming up.
Your live, local, late-breaking coverage for Greater Louisville continues right now.
It was a night to recognize some of the brightest stars in Louisville. The annual Black Achievers Awards ceremony was held at the Galt House, and you may recognize the MC, our very own WLKY anchor Natasha Collins. The guest speaker was Barrington Irving out of Miami. In 2007, he became the youngest person to fly solo around the world.
Students on a whole just need, resources and an opportunity, and this group is providing that for them.
Scholarships were awarded this evening. Adults were also honored, including WLKY's Joyce Jones, who works in our sales department.
Now, your WLKY weather with meteorologist Jared Heil.
Live tower cam picture back toward downtown of our fair city here. We have cloudy skies, which, you know what, that's nothing new, is it? But some snow flurries are also on the horizon for us later through the overnight period, and actually some snow showers. Doppler network for you right now over the past 3 hours, showing you that light area of snow shower activity kind of fell apart earlier, and now it's heading back at us once again as some jet stream energy is quickly racing toward the south out of the western lakes in Wisconsin. As we move north to kind of see what's heading our way over the next several hours, you can see another band of light snow from just west of Indy, close to the airport up there, and right up I-65 and I-74. And you kind of put your finger on that and move it toward the south the way it is going right now. That'll head toward our northern counties of like Seymour, Jackson County, Scott County, and heading toward North Vernon and Hanover over the next few hours. So if you see one of these moderate areas of snow for just a little bit, you may have some slick spots on the roadways, I should say, because temperatures are below freezing in most, if not all, of the viewing area. As a matter of fact, the numbers for you right now, just below freezing, upper 20s to near 30. It feels like 24 because of that west breeze at right around 6 miles an hour at this time. Humidity at 66%. Here are those temperatures for you across the viewing area and your hometown. Most areas outside of town are in the upper 20s to near 30, with the warm spot, relatively speaking, at Austin and Carrollton right now at 30 apiece at this late hour on our Saturday evening. As we pull out, you see not much change here. Another day of clouds, some snow flurries and snow showers. Temperatures well below average. We're in the tank here, folks. Average highs this time of year around 50. We are in the lower 30s for your Saturday and not much better for your Sunday. But the cloud cover goes all the way south toward Florida and toward the north and east as well, where you pick up the snow showers in the Appalachians. But finally, some drier air is building into Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, and down toward Missouri. This is allowing the skies to clear across this part of the world before the next system heads our way for the new work week. But that dry air is on the move. We'll see some clouds, I think, to start on your Sunday, maybe a few flurries, especially east of town. But then this dry air will take over by afternoon. And for your Sunday afternoon, I think we'll see some sunshine, which will be nice, and highs in the mid-30s toward the east to around 40 toward the west. We'll call it right around 38 or so in the metro on your Sunday afternoon. Watch for a few areas of light rain, sleet, and snow on Monday, but temperatures in the mid-40s, so once again, not a big deal there. Then this low pressure area toward the west is going to move right on top of us on your Tuesday. That means a lot of rain for parts of the region, some snow toward the north, and maybe some snow flurries across our area as we head toward our Tuesday night, with a minor accumulation possible. But the big-time snowfall totals with that storm staying north and also toward the east of us. Here's your Sunday forecast. In the morning, we're at 26 degrees, a few flurries. By noon, some sun mixing in. We're drying out as well, kind of breezy, 33. And our late day high with some sunshine, only in the upper 30s, Steve. Once again, our average high in the lower 50s. We won't get there until the latter part of the week ahead. Some rain and snow off and on for your Tuesday and Wednesday, but mainly rain with that system at this point. But then once again, we're looking toward the next weekend with temperatures around 60. That will be so nice to see by then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jared. Coming up, Louisville gets a big win on the road, and Indiana returns home after a loss earlier this week. Keith Farmer has highlights next.
Live with Keith Farmer, this is WLKY Sports.
Indiana lost against a Tubby Smith-coached Minnesota team earlier this week, so they returned home looking to get back in the win column. The Hoosiers hosting an Iowa team that it beat on New Year's Eve, so it kind of felt like it could. And take a look at this play, maybe play of the year. Cody Zeller turns it over, but then watch the hustle from the 7-footer to get the back tap. Not only that, he gets up, Will Sheehy, the behind-the-back pass, back to Zeller for the slam. That is hustle. That is why IU won again tonight. Louisville on the road at Syracuse, and Kevin Ware with a big game, even though it was just 8 points. He hit big shots when they needed them, and then Russ Smith passing when he needed to at the end of the game to find Luke Hancock, who was 4 of 5 for 12 points. Louisville wins on the road, still trying to win those 7 straight. Kentucky at Arkansas, where Alex Poitras' three-pointer cut their deficit to 45-40, but 18 turnovers in the game led to an Arkansas win, a tough loss for Kentucky. Ballard and Trinity playing in the 7th region final, where Quentin Snyder had a three-pointer, 21 points. Ballard wins, they go to the state tournament. And Butler taking on PRP, where Taewon Taylor gets the steal and the bucket as PRP wins. They are also headed to the Sweet 16 next week. We'll give you more highlights, more about these stories coming up later on Sports Saturday. Also, it was senior day at Western Kentucky for their basketball team. That meant a big day for a Louisville native who it was his final day playing. Also, the 1996 UK basketball team finally getting championship rings 17 years later. And Kentucky Derby and Oaks Preps also taking place today. We'll show you those.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. If you aren't careful, these geese may get your goose. That story's straight ahead, but first, your winning Powerball numbers. Some camera-shy geese turned back a photographer. You could say he ruffled their feathers.
I'm okay because I know they can't hurt me. They just got these little beaks.
But these angry birds just don't pick on photographers.
You're not afraid of these guys? Whoa! Okay.
The geese apparently are just guarding their territory in this Sacramento park, but they don't seem to mind this guy. Well, of course, he comes bearing food. May have something to do with it.
You know, it almost looked like they were laughing when they left that one.
Thanks for making WLKY your first choice for news. Sports Saturday is next. Good night.